You don't know what this crusty orange orb's latest attempt at destabilising American democracy is, but you don't want to look like a thicky dum-dum in front of all your mates. Here's a quick rundown before you blame your unpopularity on China as well. So the US midterm elections are happening in November. Currently, Trumpty Dumpty's party, the Republicans, control all of Congress, but only by a teeny tiny bit. The Republitrumps currently have 8 more seats than the Democrats in the Senate, and 5 more in the House of Representatives. But what happens if the Democrats win back both of these bits in November? Well, they'll probably impeach Tweedledee and Tweedledum as fuck. This is looking more and more likely to happen because a recent poll by the Washington Post and Ipsos put Trumpty's approval rating at 37%, which is very low, mainly because of all of the definitely not sane decisions he's been making. So basically, Donald is trying to undermine the entire US electoral system and the upcoming bad results for him in November by saying that China interfered in the 2020 election between him and Joe Biden by stealing 220 million voter files. The first problem with this is that the FBI, the Department for Homeland Security, the Department for Justice, countless election officials and the courts have found absolutely no evidence that China did any of this. The second problem with this is that most voter files are publicly available anyway. This is literally a government website with most of them on. Now, Trump said all of this during a live primetime television address last week, when he also announced that he was releasing new documents that showed Chinese hacking, exploitation and interference in the US electoral system, which is actually very brave of Trump because he usually hates releasing files. Only these new Chinese hacking documents were so redacted that you couldn't actually read anything, and even the ones that you could read said that China didn't interfere with anything anyway. So why did the US intelligence community release documents that actively undermined the point the president was making on live television? Probably because the guy that Donald Trump just appointed as head of national intelligence is a friend of his called Bill Pulte, a man with no previous intelligence experience. Hey, you two are so similar. Donald doesn't have any experience of intelligence either. As well as trying to undermine people's confidence in American democracy generally, Trumpty Dumpty also used his China stole the 2020 election BS to try and bully Congress into passing the Save America Act. Now, the Safeguarding American Voter Eligibility Act would ban mail-in ballots, require proof of citizenship to register to vote, and require people to bring photo ID when casting a vote at ballots in US elections, which would disenfranchise millions and millions of American voters. That's because an estimated 21 million Americans don't have documents proving their citizenship and 2.6 million don't have photo ID. By the way, on Wednesday, Trump was asked if he was going to bring up this serious accusation of electoral interference with China, and he said, "They do things and we do things to them. I'll be honest, we do things to them too. It's not a one-way street." Meaning, yes, Trumpty Dumpty doesn't even believe his own lies and that he was simply inventing the idea of Chinese electoral interference to undermine the results of the upcoming midterm elections in November. I guess this is just another thing to add to the ever-growing list of reasons to impeach the fucker.